Appreciate you coming by. Is anyone here, by show of hands, familiar with what this is? Sweet. Maybe one or two people. Where have you seen? What is it? First of all, huh?
It's not Fortnite.
Fortnite. So, anyone? What sport is this?
Fencing.
Fencing. Yep. Where have you seen it? TV. Mr. Beast. Did he? Oh wow. Okay.
That was like the Olympic video, right? Like where you did like a whole bunch of sports. Yeah.
So fencing is it's a combat sport. It's low impact as far as like karate and something like that. It's full impact. This is low impact. Even though the weapons are really stiff, and I mean these are metal blades that we use. I'll just break it down a little bit. So this is what we call a weapon. It's got a grip that you hold like that. The belt protects your hand from getting hit. The blade is very flexible. So if you hit, let's say, someone in the face, right? This is a steel mask. This is really solid. If you can tell by what they're wearing, we have a lot of protection. We have a underarm protector, a full jacket, and these are thick. They're made to hold a certain amount of tension so they won't rip in case a blade breaks. And then the metallic jacket. The metallic jacket is what actually the valid target area. So if you want to get a touch on your opponent, this is what you want to hit. And basically the torso of the body. So if you guys want to hook up.
On the tip of the foil, just to add on, it's not an actual like piercing. It's not a tip. It's just a button. That button connects to a wire that connects to this wire. It's going through my jacket, going all the way to the reel, which moves with me, all the way to that scoring machine.
Yeah, so like he mentioned, I got that far, I didn't get to the tip. So the tip is a spring-loaded tip.
Yeah.
If I were to put it closer, you can see that it's going in and out. So you basically have to hit with the point. If you hit like this, do you think you'll get a touch? No, it won't register, right? So you'll see some of the action that they're doing. Looks like they're slapping, but it's actually the tip is going first, and you're actually getting the click. So we're going to go ahead and test the weapons first.
So if I were to hit him on valid target area, which is top limit, vest. So if I hit him valid target area, I'll go up red, right? If you were to hit me on my valid target area, it'd be green. The color difference doesn't matter. It just helps with, different who hit. Now, if I were to hit his leg, hit off target, and miss, white. No point, no touch. If he, same thing with him, if he hits my leg, my arm or something, my mask, no point. You only get a point if you were to score on the valid target area. There are more rules involved, such as right of way, which is, it can get pretty, you can go down a rabbit hole with that, but we can go over that. I think we should.
So fencing, if you look at the history of fencing, it started, back in Egypt, like 1200 BC, and then it evolved into an Olympic sport, where it's actually one of the first Olympic sports that was entered into the Olympics. The tip of the foil. So if you notice, like we're going to do some drills that it's going to look slow, but when we actually start going fast, the tip is supposedly as fast as a bullet, depending on how fast you go. So I'm going to show you a couple of rules as far as who gets a touch, right? So when you're fencing, there are two fencers and one director. So I would be like the referee or the director. I keep the score, I keep the time, and I would let them know, okay, on guard, ready, fence, and that's their cue to start competing.
So if it's one life, like if we're attacking, the ref says on guard, ready, fence, and then blah, 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 we can go at each other, and it's just one life, right? Obviously, I'm going to get that touch. I hit on the valid target area, I'll get that point. So I'll get a point. Now, if we both hit, if we're all both going at each other, we go back and forth, and then we end up both hitting at the same time. You guys really think we're both going to get a touch? Probably not. There is another weapon, Epe, that you do get double touches, but that's not this one. In that case, there's something called right of way. So right of way is essentially the ref's, what's the word? Determination of who's gonna get that touch.
Who has the attack?
And it's essentially who has that attack, right? So a good example is like, if we're both on guard, and ref says on guard.
On guard, ready, fence. So if he's pushing the action, he's got the attack. If they both hit, guess who's gonna get the touch?
What do you guys think? Do you think I'll get that touch or he will, right?
Right, the guy on the right. Whoever's pressing the action gets the attack. Let's do one more.
So
on guard, ready, fence. Now he's got the attack. He's trying to hold his ground. He's trying to put his point out there, trying to stop that attack, but the guy on the left has the attack. Evan has the attack. And if they both hit, who's going to get the touch there?
I'm sorry, is there a can free, pay free, palm free? You gotta go to the front office.
See ya. So, ideally the best thing is one light, right? If one person hits, I have no say in it. If they're both hitting, now I'm trying to determine who has the right of way, and that's where it gets rough. Because right now they're going in slow motion, but once they start going fast, it's really hard to see. And sometimes you gotta rely on hearing, like who beat the blade. So if this person has the attack, you know how the person on the left or the fencer on the left would take over that attack? We're gonna show you right now. And it's called a block. It's a parry. So Antonio's gonna start with an attack. He's pressing, and boom. As soon as he touched that blade, he took over the attack. Now he's gonna hit. If they both hit, guess who gets the touch now? Right. The fencer on the left. Yep.
essentially a block or a parry. You know, if I'm defending, obviously if we both hit at that point, I wouldn't get that touch because he's pushing me. But if I go for that block and I get it, I get that touch. It automatically flips to now I have that attack. Okay?
And there are also counterattacks. So Antonio could be pressing the action, and he'll see that Evan will start trying to put the point out. If he hits him and Antonio doesn't finish, like that, right? Even though it was Antonio's attack, he got the counterattack in time, and the machine times out. It's only a split second that they could both hit at the same time.
It is risky though because if he lands it,
It's his attack.
So
So we're gonna do a little bit of real slow fencing,
and then we're gonna get you guys to see who got that touch.
Yeah, see who has the attack, who takes over the attack.
Slow, super slow.
Who has the attack, guys? Antonio has the attack. He's trying to stop him, but Antonio still has the attack. So Antonio, he was able to squeeze in a counterattack right before I forget, the fencing, what we call where you actually compete, is called the fencing strip or a piece. And they're on guard line, so Evan's on guard line would be right there, Antonio would get on guard there. But if Antonio is able to bring Evan back, and both feet get past this line, Antonio gets a touch. And the same way with him. If Evan is able to drag Antonio off the piece or off the strip over there, he would get a touch. So we're gonna do a 5-touch bout.
Well, let's reenact.
Go ahead. We'll do a little bit more slow motion so you can kind of get an idea, and then we'll go full speed. Who has the attack? Yeah, Evan has. Yep. Tony took over. Oh, Evan took over. It keeps going back and forth, right? And that last action was.
Raise your hand if you think that was my touch. Was that one light?
It's only one light.
Oh, well, let's say I hit. You think that would have been mine?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you think it would have been his. Or if it was his.
Good call. Yep. We'll do one more slow motion, and then we'll do a 5-touch.
he would have gotten that? Okay, raise your hand if that was my touch. Yeah. So
One light makes it real easy, and it makes it real easy for the ref or the director because it's one light. There's no mistake. It's when there's two lights that it gets really rough.
So like imagine for that one if he did get it, but right there, he was pushing me all the way, and he did have the attack. If you were to land, you know, and we both hit, that would have been his touch. For the last second, you guys did notice I got that parry, and I finished. Now the parries, I have all this target area, and in the back. This whole backside is target area, right? The parries they all differ, right? So, there's different parries. So one is like parry 4, that's the most common. You know, they come here, I go for the parry. There, and let's say my arm is here, right? I'm just attacking, my arm is here, and they come here. They shoot for here. That's another parry. Now, another one, if you can hit on the back, is the flick on the shoulder. You know, if he tries to go for my back, he always misses.
That's not my fault.
No, yeah,
right?
it's the foil.
Is it your tape?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it hits too fast, it won't go off. It's a tip problem. But he's flicking me on the back. You guys see where it's landing. But a block for that would be, he goes for the bam. He goes for the flick on the back, and I parry like this, right? So one, that's one parry. That's another one. Up is another one. And if he comes low, right? If he shoots for low, same thing. I'll just block down there. I'll just sweep under. So try and just hear for the sound. It's going to be hard when we go fast right now. It's going to be hard to watch, you know, what kind of parry I'm doing. So just kind of hear for the sound and like the general motion of, okay, I'm